On a quiet Sunday night in August 1989, Beverly Hills police received a frantic 911 call. Two young men, Erik and Lyle Menendez, were screaming into the phone, claiming their parents had just been shot in cold blood. What began as a case of brutal homicide in one of America's wealthiest neighborhoods soon spiraled into a shocking story of murder, money, and media. This is the story of the Menendez brothers, two sons who killed their parents. And a nation that couldn't look away. In the shadows of forgotten files, lies the truth no one dared to uncover. Welcome to the Lost Chronicle Files. Jose and Mary Louise Menendez, known as Kitty, seemed to have it all. Jose was a self-made Cuban immigrant who built a successful career in the entertainment industry, eventually becoming a powerful executive at Live Entertainment. Kitty, a former schoolteacher, was a devoted wife and mother. Their sons, Lyle and Erik, were raised in luxury, splitting their time between lavish homes in New Jersey and Beverly Hills. To the outside world, they were the perfect American family. But behind the closed doors of their $5 million mansion, tension simmered. Jose was known to be strict and controlling, while Kitty reportedly struggled with depression and alcohol. The picture-perfect image was starting to crack. August 20, 1989. Lyle and Erik say they went to the movies that evening. When they returned home, they discovered a gruesome scene. Their parents had been shot multiple times with shotguns, executed in their den. Kitty had tried to crawl away, but the killers were relentless. Lyle dialed 911, sobbing uncontrollably. The brothers told police it must have been a mafia-style hit. After all, Jose had business enemies, they claimed. The Beverly Hills police initially bought their story. With no sign of forced entry and no clear motive, the case went cold, for a while. Despite the horror of their parents' deaths, Lyle and Erik began spending extravagantly in the months that followed. Lyle bought a Porsche, Rolex watches, and a restaurant. Erik hired a tennis coach and took trips around the world. Together, they spent nearly $1 million in under a year. Friends and family noticed the strange behavior. Why were two grieving sons living like lottery winners? Police took notice, and so did Erik's psychologist, Dr. Jerome Oziel. In a twist of fate, Erik confessed to the murders during a therapy session, admitting both he and Lyle had planned and executed the killings. But there was one problem. Dr. Oziel's mistress, who had secretly listened in on the confession, went to the police. Legal battles followed over whether the taped confession could be used in court. Ultimately, the judge ruled it admissible, and the brothers were arrested in March 1990. The Menendez case exploded onto television screens across America. The trial was one of the first to be broadcast gavel to gavel, captivating viewers with its drama, emotion, and shocking allegations. The defense didn't deny the brothers had killed their parents. But they claimed it wasn't cold-blooded murder, it was self-defense. According to Lyle and Erik, years of sexual, physical, and emotional abuse at the hands of their father had pushed them to the brink. Their mother, they alleged, had been complicit and abusive in her own right. The defense painted a harrowing picture, a household of fear, control, and incest. The brothers said they believed their father was going to kill them to keep them quiet. So they struck first. The trial divided America. Some saw two spoiled rich kids killing their parents for a $14 million inheritance. Others believed the abuse claims were real and that the brothers were victims too. Day after day, the courtroom became a theater of pain. Erik, soft-spoken and emotional. Lyle, stoic and defensive. Kitty and Jose's lives were dissected in public. But with no physical evidence to confirm the abuse, the jury was left to weigh testimony alone. In 1994, after months of testimony and media frenzy, both juries in the separate trials of Lyle and Erik deadlocked. The result, mistrials. The second trial began in 1995, but this time, the judge barred cameras and severely limited the abuse testimony. Without the emotional weight of the first trial, the focus shifted back to money, motive, and murder. Prosecutors argued that the brothers were angry over financial restrictions imposed by their father. The murders, they said, were not about fear, but greed. On March 20, 1996, both Lyle and Erik Menendez were found guilty of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. In July of that year, they were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The Menendez saga, at least in court, was over. But in the public eye, it had just begun. Today, Lyle and Erik are serving their sentences in California state prisons, originally separated, though briefly reunited in 2018. They've both married while incarcerated and continue to receive letters from supporters who believe their story is more complex than it appears. Over time, the narrative has evolved. Documentaries, interviews, and even TikTok have sparked renewed interest in the brothers. Young people, especially Gen Z, have revisited the case, often viewing it through the lens of mental health, trauma, and systemic injustice. In 2023, new evidence, including alleged letters Erik wrote describing abuse before the murders, has renewed public interest and legal questions. Will the case be re-examined? That remains to be seen. In May 2025, after 35 years behind bars, the Menendez brothers' legal journey took a significant turn. A Los Angeles County judge resentenced Erik and Lyle Menendez from life without parole to 50 years to life, making them eligible for parole under California's youthful offender law. This decision was influenced by their ages at the time of the crime, 18 and 21, and new evidence suggesting prolonged abuse by their father. The path to this resentencing was fraught with delays and legal battles. Initially scheduled for January, the hearing was postponed due to devastating wildfires in Los Angeles County. Subsequent delays arose from disputes over the admissibility of a comprehensive risk assessment report ordered by Governor Gavin Newsom and debates about the involvement of the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. Despite these challenges, the brothers' parole hearing is now set for August 21 to 22, 2025. If the parole board recommends release, Governor Newsom will have 30 days to approve or veto the decision. The case has garnered renewed public interest, with supporters citing the brothers' rehabilitation efforts and the evolving understanding of abuse and trauma. As the hearing approaches, the nation watches closely, contemplating the complexities of justice, accountability, and redemption. The Menendez case remains one of the most haunting true crime stories in American history, not just because of the brutality, but because of the questions it leaves behind. Were Erik and Lyle victims as well as perpetrators? Was justice served, or did the courts ignore a darker family secret? And what does it say about America that a tale of wealth, abuse, murder, and fame became national entertainment? Over 30 years later, One thing is certain: the Menendez brothers forced the nation to ask uncomfortable questions about family, violence, and the cost of silence. Thank you for watching. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the most chilling and complex cases in modern history. What do you think? Were the Menendez brothers cold-blooded killers, or did they snap under unbearable pressure? Let us know in the comments below.